started broking back in 1982 as an institutional broker, that is talking to fund managers. And I eventually moved into retail broking, as it's called, which is looking after private clients in 1998. And about the same time, my younger brother-in-law started broking in Melbourne. And he tells a story, or told me the story, that he'd had his first day in broking, and on the first day he was sat down in Melbourne next to one of the doyens of stockbroking, a personality I shall not name. Everybody knew him, and he told my brother-in-law when he turned up at 8 o'clock in the morning being keen, he said, sit there, shut up, don't do anything, and I'll take you out at 10 o'clock and tell you how to do stockbroking. And at 10 o'clock he said, come here you, and they went out to Rosati's at the back of 101 Collins Street, and he sat him down and he said, right, I'll tell you how you do broking. He goes, what you do is you find a stock that's got half an idea that is less than a cent, and you buy millions of it and then spend the rest of your career marketing it. that was his introduction to broking. And if you look around, and I was looking at a stock the other day, I look at what owners are buying and selling, directors buying and selling, we all look at it occasionally. And I saw that there was a broker I used to work with, I shall not name him either, a young guy, and when I was working with him, he didn't have a brass razoo to rub together, and I noticed on the shareholders list, he was listed there as a substantial shareholder, and he was worth $60 million. And here is this young kid, I was 20 years ahead of him, and this young kid's now worth $60 million as a shareholder of one of our ASX listed companies, which has of course been one of the successful ones. But this is something that is well known in broking, that the way to make money, or the opportunity, is to look for stocks that are have half an idea, buy a lot of them and talk about them. And you'll see this, there are some websites where fund managers talk about stocks, and you ask, why are they talking about those stocks? Why are they telling us about those stocks? Well, I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. On one of these websites once, there was an article which came from a well-known fund manager that said the 4 micro-cap stocks you have to own. And you go to the article, and of course this fund manager had started the fund only months before, and had put in, it was a $300 million fund, and he'd gone and bought a bunch of a micro-cap fund, gone and bought a bunch of micro-caps, and here he was now telling you what he bought. And of course, you need to understand in this game that there is a formula that everybody is operating under, possibly not yourself, everyone else is operating under, which is buy something and then tell everybody about it. And that's why when you see a fund manager speaking at a conference, he's telling you the stock he's discovered to try and get everybody else to buy it. And one of the best things you can do as an investor, stay-at-home investor, is to look at substantial shareholders' notices, especially in smaller companies, read the articles that the fund managers are writing about the stocks they've bought, and follow what they do, because I can tell you, fund managers can't trade smaller companies. They can only, if they're going to send an analyst out there, paid 200 grand to do a month's research on a small company, and then they go and buy it, they're not buying it to trade it. They don't have the liquidity. A $300 million micro-cap fund doesn't have the liquidity to trade a small cap stock. So they have to invest in it. And they are doing you a favor by saying, look at this stock we've discovered. So it's worth reading the articles about small caps, micro caps that fund managers have bought. It's not a rort for a fund manager to start telling you to buy XYZ when he's just bought it, because he is probably, he is almost certainly an investor, not a trader, and he has bought this after a lot of research on a judgment about how the company will go over years. So he or she is trying to get you to understand the stock rather than necessarily buy the stock. It's in everyone's interest, having done a bunch of research and bought a stock, to get everyone else buying it as well. And the way they do that is by marketing what they've bought.